Hi, how are ya? I'm Fossil Daddy. Oh wait, on this channel, I'm Cell Daddy, but you can just call me Daddy. No matter what daddy I am, I'm freaking excited, okay? Scott Pilgrim Takes Off literally just took off. And for those of you not in the know, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is a Netflix animated series that represents a fresh opportunity for the series to kind of reinvent itself, and possibly attract new audiences along the way. When Netflix first announced that they were making a Scott Pilgrim animated series, I was a little bit conflicted. You see, I was one of the OG fans of the original comics by Brian O'Malley. OG in this case meaning Olive Garden. And I was an even bigger fan of the 2010 live-action film.
Can I have your autograph, please?
What's up? How's life? He seems nice.
Heck, it's one of the few movies at the time that I went to go see multiple times in the theaters with my friends, despite it being a box office bomb at the time. And then before I knew it, the Netflix series aired, and, you know, as soon as I started watching it, my biggest fear was kind of confirmed, or so I thought. My biggest fear for the series was that it was going to be just another retelling of the same story, which frankly wouldn't feel the same hearing it for a third time. And the first episode actually is a retelling of the original story verbatim.
I think it's war.
Time to fight!
Matthew Patel versus Scott Pilgrim. Round 1. Fight.
Until the very end. Things take a very drastically wild turn, to say the least. The series is not a retelling of the original novels or the 2010 live-action film. It actually starts to play out as a secret timeline of events that reimagines the story between Scott and Ramona, and even Ramona and her evil exes. Now, I'm not going to spoil the series for you if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, it's Netflix. You can binge it all in a day. Get on that already. One thing that I think the series does really well is that each of the evil exes gets their own arc and their own episode, essentially. We get to explore those romances, or lack thereof, between Ramona and all of them. And we also start to learn that Ramona wasn't exactly innocent in those relationships either.
Let's fight about him!
Roxy Richter versus Ramona Flowers. Fight.
Whoa!
Are we really doing this again?
Again. I'm fucking in. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old fucking
As they say, it takes two to tango, sometimes more if that's your thing. Also, like, they kind of address the problem with Ramona. Like, if you're the one with 7 evil exes, maybe you're the problem. And this series actually kind of addresses that. However, the series makes it clear that both sides are equally as terrible, which makes them feel all the more human. I also really like how they went in depth to give characters like Roxy some closure, and Matthew Patel is an absolute delight in the series. I also really like how the show shifts the focus away from Scott Pilgrim and places it on the other characters, like Ramona, like Matthew Patel, like Roxy, like Todd Ingram, and Lucas Lee, who could totally get it. Yes, I'm gonna thirst over a cartoon character, and I don't care. Wouldn't be the first time. I also really loved when Todd went totally gay for Wallace. Apologies, I did say that this was going to be, for the most part, spoiler-free, but
Adam Friedland is very gay.
the series is also praised for its ensemble cast and character development, and honestly, special praise goes out to Ellen Wong for her portrayal of Knives Chow. Beautifully done. I mean, she was excellent in the 2010 film anyway, but she especially nailed the character, I think, in the series. Speaking of the cast, pretty much everybody from the film reprised their role for the series. What do I mean pretty much everybody? Everybody did. There are some new voice actors, such as Will Forte, who did the voice of Old Scott, and also Finn Wolfhard, who did the voice of Young Scott, but everybody from the 2010 movie returned, and that was great to see. You know, I also forgot how hot some of these actors are. Chris Evans, obviously, but Mark Webber, oh my goodness. I forgot I had a 2010 crush on him. Him and Satya Babha. Satya, if you're watching this, you're beautiful, but also sorry if I mispronounced your last name. It's honestly just the Boston accent. Can't help it. Can we also for a minute just talk about the animation? It's definitely a callback to the comic series for which the entire franchise is based. And it's one thing to see them in their still form, but to see them so fluid and moving is really another experience entirely, and it's so beautifully done. I also like how the series takes creative liberties with familiar moments and songs, offering a new and unexpected twist to the franchise. I was particularly surprised by Metric's return to the series with their take on Sarah McLachlan's I Will Remember You. I also really enjoy how Scott Pilgrim Takes Off maintains the spirit and wackiness of the original. You know, it still has the same meta humor, which I particularly like. I remember first watching the 2010 film, and even though I had already read the first 2 comics at that time, for some reason it still kind of took me by surprise the minute Matthew Patel showed up. Scott Pilgrim as a franchise has always had somewhat of a very experimental vibe, for lack of a better phrase. I also really appreciate their willingness to acknowledge how problematic some of the elements of the original story were, such as Scott dating a high schooler, cheating on her, and then still winning the girl he wanted by the end.
Oh, hell no!
You know, back in 2010, I didn't see how problematic that was, but in retrospect, Scott was kind of a piece of shit. I really do think that this series has potential to attract new fans to the franchise. And honestly, I hope it does. Some of my fondest memories as a young adult was, you know, hanging out with my friends and playing video games all day until we just couldn't stand each other anymore. So not only did the series succeed in nostalgia baiting me, but it also left me feeling kind of nostalgic for just the days where my friends and I would get together every single day. Times are different now, and I really hope that that's something that new audiences get to experience today. So thank you, Scott Pilgrim, you fucking piece of shit, for making me miss my friends even more. While it's been expressed by the creators that a second season wasn't planned while creating this, nor was it intended, and nor do they think it was needed, the slight cliffhanger at the end with Julian Gideon has me feeling hopeful that there might be a potential continuation of the franchise. Whether it's in a season 2, or another video game, or comic book series, like, who knows? But I would really love to see the story continue, because I think it has a lot of potential. Could it have been better? Absolutely. But overall, I do think that this series was pretty gratifying. I wouldn't say I'm exactly satisfied though, because like, that cliffhanger, you know, like I need to know more what's gonna happen next. Because as Scott said in the first episode, can this please not be a one-time thing? Because I don't even think it would count. By the way, the sponsor of today's video is My Iced Coffee. Okay, that's kind of a lie. It's not actually a sponsor. However, I do have a good friend who started a coffee business with his partner called Lumen. And honestly, I am a coffee snob, and I am very particular about my coffee. This coffee hits all of the right notes, and if you're interested in supporting a queer-owned business, I am going to link that down below. Oh my god, that's so good. So anyway, what are your thoughts on the new series? I would love to know your opinion down below. Leave a comment, hit like, subscribe. If you like paleontology content, feel free to go check out my main channel where I occasionally post fossil hunting videos and debunk pseudoscience because that's always fun. Not as active on that channel anymore, but I am going to try to update it at least twice a month. And I think I'm going to move forward on making this my main channel simply because I can never run out of topics to talk about when it comes to animation. I could go on and on about paleontology too, but that's not as fun for people.
Hey there, this is Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town. Subscribe to Fossil Daddy for more awesome paleontology content and become a paleontological Pokemon Master. Sponsor a fossil hunt or become a patron if you can. Now, let's battle! Pikachu, go!